Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and we've got the key art for the upcoming Hydra update. It's really cool, so I wanted to start off the video right off at the top and shout out to the visual artists, the graphic people from Marvel Future Fight. They always do a fantastic job. That is one thing among everything in this game that we've ever complained about, that I've ever complained about. The one thing that has been a 100% constant is Marvel Future Fight devs' desire to make money. But also, I'm kidding. Obviously, what I meant to say was that the artwork outside of the game for stuff like this, and the artwork in the game has always been, since day one, even back in 2015, when it wasn't even that good, it was still good for 2015. And in the last couple of years, 2018, 2019, and now 2020, they are just going above and beyond. It's looking amazing. I don't know how they do it, but the characters just always look so fresh, so clean, and really giving every other mobile game a run for its money in the looks department. I know that you can't build a mobile game with just the looks, just the aesthetic, just the visuals, but I gotta say, you know, sometimes I know sometimes I take it for granted. So I wanted to give a huge shout out. Baron Zemo looks sick, Viper looks sick, you know, Red Skull's looking dope. And then it's unfortunate that it's a uniform for Captain America. We'll talk about that. But even Captain America looks dope. And then the background, not only the background with the Hydra, but I'm talking about like all the destroyed Earth down below, and like the metal coming up, those steel beams and stuff. Man, it looks so sick. Now, hopefully you guys have seen the Facebook live stream with Cage, Michael, and Kim. I don't want to talk specifically about the live stream at length, but I do want to dive into a couple of key points from the live stream to discuss more in depth with you guys, because you might have missed it if you didn't pay very close attention. So I just want to bring these things to your attention more closely, so that you can, you know, prepare better for the update and stuff like that. Now, keep in mind, I also want to address right at the beginning of the video, I will be getting the APK tomorrow. So we're less than 24 hours. You're probably less than 12 hours from now if you're watching this video as soon as it drops from when I get the APK. So depending on when I get the APK, I may delay my next video. So keep that in mind if you don't see a video from me at the regular time slot in the evening. It may be that I'm delaying it until I get the APK, and then I can start pumping out videos for you guys that are much fresher. I mean, as fresh as can be, baby. They're straight out of the oven. So without further ado, it's going to be a little scary because you're going to see my face duplicated here, so I apologize for that. But I want to show you guys. So first of all, we see Viper here. She's the first character displayed. She does not have an awakening skill. So this actually confused me a little bit. I think it confused a lot of other people watching the stream. We thought it was going to be a very cut and dry, you know, all three new characters plus Red Skull and maybe Dr. Octopus getting their awakening skill. Like, it just makes sense. Just like the Warriors of the Sky. All the Warriors of the Sky got their awakening skill, so all these new characters, Viper, Zemo, and Taskmaster, they will get the same thing. They're all Hydra, whatever. No, that's not the case at all. None of the new characters, in fact, none of the new characters have the awakening skill. Baron Zemo doesn't have it, Viper doesn't have it, and Taskmaster doesn't have it. It's really strange. I mean, it's strange because we expected them to have it, but that's not what they wanted to do. So that's the first thing I want to say. There may be, I'm speculating here, but there may be less of a pressure to have a ton of awakening crystals saved up. However, I wouldn't recommend that you spend your awakening crystals now on the Warriors of the Sky, because once you see what the awakening skill is and who it's for, you're gonna lose your mind. So that was actually pretty confusing to me, and it was a bit inconsistent. The next thing I want to bring up, we're gonna circle back to the awakening skill thing, because it's actually even more complicated than that. But the other thing I wanted to mention is Captain America's a blast type. I mean, I don't want to judge things before I see the APK and before I see the update, but man, Marvel Future Fight devs have such a boner for blast type characters. It's so obvious that they favor blast type characters over everything else. Whoever is there at the company who's constantly pushing blast type characters, can you please take a vacation? Let somebody else drive the driver's seat. Like, let somebody else steer and be in the driver's seat. We've had like literally almost 5 years of just like blast characters being shoved down our throats. We just, like, you know, seriously, we need a serious, like, we still need a combat revival. You guys did a good job with Apocalypse and Namor, and Crescent was okay, but come on, guys, you took one of our best. Like, this feels like you're the coach of the basketball team and they just drafted LeBron off your team, and now he's on the other team. Like, what have you guys done? He's the OG of the OG of the OGs. I know it's just a uniform. I'm overreacting. But yeah, you know, when are the blast types going to get combat uniforms? Huh? When are you going to give a combat uniform to a blast type? When is Negasonic going to get a combat type uniform? Yeah, why don't you do that? I would love to see that. So yeah, Salty Alex is over. Anyways, no awakening skill for Captain America. So that's gone off the table. For those of you also worried that these skills are from his default uniform, I believe that these 2 skills are from his endgame uniform, so he won't be getting a downgrade in that department. But we're going to have to see how these 3 skills stack up to his endgame uniforms. But I will say this, unlike the 3099 uniforms, this is already looking like it could overtake his endgame uniform. Not to mention the fact that his 5th skill might be introducing a brand new effect. I've never seen this before in game. It's this like blue freeze thing, and they called it reality manipulation. If this will ignore debuff removal, they might be pushing Captain America to the tippy top of PvP. Now, of course, I'm extrapolating with an enormous optimism and positivity for Captain America, but it's a very strange looking skill, and I don't know why they look like this. Their heads have shrunk down. I don't know why they all look like the Goombas from Mario, if you guys ever seen that movie. I think it's just a graphical glitch or bug or whatever. But the other thing I wanted to say is, if he is really good for PvP with his uniform, another meta PvP blast character. Yeah, I know. It's literally time as a circle. We're just going around in circles. Jean Grey, Doctor Strange, Captain America, Jean Grey, Doctor. It's just like, you know, which new blast type is going to dominate the meta. Then we see Red Skull, who finally does have an Awaken skill. So now I was kind of confused. I'm like, okay, so you guys didn't give an Awaken skill to anybody else, but you gave it to Red Skull. What's going on? Red Skull's rework looks amazing, but Red Skull has an Awakening skill. However, spoiler alert here, the Awakening skill itself looks really cool, but it calls in, where it calls in, you can't really see it well here, but it calls down, yeah, you can see it here. It calls down Sin and Crossbones. So we're like, oh snap, that's really cool, and he's hailing Hydra and like whatever, like this is really cool. Not only thematically is this cool, and this is probably pretty close to something you can see in the comics, but it, you know, it includes 2 characters that, you know, we know he's getting a rework. Oh man, is Sin gonna get a rework? So we're like, okay, so Crossbones has that same has that same Awakening skill, right? Because, you know, you're thinking Warriors of the Sky, and then you go into the gameplay, he doesn't have an Awakening skill at all. At this point, I'm super confused. So whereas maybe before we thought that Awakening skills were going to be a replacement for tier 3s for a group of characters, so that they could sort of copy paste and then, you know, have basically the same skill with a slight modification, and then have it for lots of characters, and that way they can release more of these instead of having to rush through and release more tier 3s, because it seems like the development team has decided pretty, you know, concretely, we're almost at 2 years since we've gotten tier 3s in Marvel Future Fight. If you think about this, crazy. They're not going to be releasing multiple tier 3s per update. We had 2 updates where they released 2 tier 3s. We had the one with Black Panther, or no, sorry, we had the one with Thor and Ant-Man, and we had another one with Iron Man and Spider-Man. Oh, we had 3. We had one with Sharon Rogers and Luna Snow. But otherwise, every other update has only had 1 tier 3. But now it seems like, on top of not wanting to push out a lot of tier 3s, they're also going to be almost treating these Awakening skills as tier 3s, because if you're telling me that there's no other tier 3 that's going to have, there's no other character, excuse me, that's going to have this Awakening skill, that means that they basically designed, like on the level of this is on the level of a tier 3 skill. Like, this is an amazing looking skill. The amount of design and work that went into this could not have taken, you know, one person one day. The only thing that's different between this and a tier 3 is the stat boost, and maybe some of the effects of the skill itself, and maybe the damage of the skill. Also, the function of the skill, it doesn't need to be charged up, it's just on its own timer. So I think what this means is that they're going to just be releasing more Awakening skills to, you know, differentiate. I think they're trying to differentiate now on the roster. These characters are going to get their tier 3, which means they're inherently stronger, and all of the other characters are just going to get an Awakening skill. They will be strong, but they're never going to be as strong. You're never, like, you know, maybe if the character's terrible, but realistically, if a character gets a tier 3, the stat bump alone should put them on par or above a character with an Awakening skill. Not to mention the fact that on top of that, they do get their own tier 3 skill. So even the weakest tier 3s, unless they need like a rework badly, like Magneto or whatever, should still be stronger, or at least as strong than, or as the strongest awakening skill characters. So it's interesting. It's kind of what we thought. You know, we're not going to be giving awakening skills and then a tier 3 later for these characters. So on the one hand, it might be a bit sad. Those of you that were hoping for tier 3 Red Skull or hoping for tier 3 Dr. Octopus, you're not going to be able to see that because the day will probably never come. But then it's interesting. If we're going to be having this many awakening skills, we could see some really unique shit. And we could see, you know, basically like one-off characters that don't have a lot of connections in the comics, characters that don't have a lot of interactions in the comics. They could get sort of like their own awakening skill, which would be like a tier 3 skill. So I think that's cool in a way, although, you know, in another way, it's a little bit, I don't want to call it disappointing, but it's something. And then we see Dr. Octopus, and and so this is the whole reason why I'm talking about Red Skull. He has his own awakening skill, but it's completely different. Completely different. So if you ask me, the devs technically worked on 3 tier 3 skills, tier 3 animations in this update, at least, because you've got one for Bucky, you've got one for Dr. Octopus Superior, and you've got one for Red Skull. And I assume that Red Skull and Dr. Octopus will still have their awakened skills with their uniforms. We're going to have to wait and see, because that's another question. If it's tied to the uniform, that basically makes the uniforms a must-buy. So we'll have to wait and see if that's the case. But check out, I got to play this for you. There's not going to be any sound, but check out Dr. Octopus's awakening skill. This has to be the best awakening skill in the game. It's absolutely mental how cool it is. I think they're going to do it now. No, what are they doing right now here? Are they going to do it now? It's seriously, it's like so crazy. Okay, he does the 5 there. Yeah, here we go. We're going to do the 6 now. This is just absolutely bonkers. This is exactly what we wanted like tier 3 skills to be. And then once we learned about awakening skills, and once we saw the devs making more like team ups where they did like the Fantastic Four team up and other team ups, then we started having like, you know, these wet dreams about skills like this. And so what they've done is like, I seriously cannot tell you how amazing this is exactly what I wanted personally. This is just absolutely amazing. That's just like mind blown. I really got to give it up to the devs. Man, you guys really need to give us new game modes, but goddamn, do these skills look amazing. These skills look amazing. Vulture comes in, Electro comes in, then you see Sandman, then you see Mysterio dropping the Spirit Bomb, and then Kraven flies in right at the end for like a half second. It's hilarious how little screen time they gave Kraven, but man, like I could watch this all day. This is going to look so cool in World Boss. This is going to look so cool in Shadowland and other game modes. And then when they rework all of the game modes in the arena, like Timeline Battle and Alliance Battle Extreme and Alliance Conquest, when they rework all those game modes, these skills are going to look even more amazing and insane. Could you imagine you're doing a solo in Shadowland? Yo, check this out. You're doing a solo in Shadowland with Dr. Octopus, stage 99, okay? You know, I got a long beard now. It's so much time has passed. Cage has a cybernetic arm, and you pop Dr. Octopus's superior skill, or sorry, superior Dr. Octopus's awakening skill, and all the Sinister Six just jump in like this. Like, that's so sick. That's so sick. They basically took the best part of the those sort of like team up skills that we've been seeing a lot more of lately. You know, they started with I can't remember exactly who they started with, but like, you know, Thor coming in for Iron Man to charge him up from the movie. You've got like Thing being flown in by Human Torch, and then Invisible Woman comes in, or like Mr. Fantastic wraps around Thing, yada yada yada. You've got, you know, a Colossus throwing Wolverine. You've got Iceman coming in with Rogue. Rogue touches Colossus and becomes Iron, Steel, whatever. She gets that body. So they've been doing this for a while. And this is like, I feel like the awakening skill is the culmination of that. And it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. So character-wise, uniform-wise, artwork-wise, and skill-wise, in these 4 categories, I feel like Marvel Future Fight is just killing the game. They're straight up killing, like, what I mean by killing the game, that's like, you know, maybe a Toronto term. I mean, like, they're murdering the competition. There is no other mobile game that you can point out to me that's going to have skills like that, where you see that many iconic characters teaming up. No. There's no way. There's no game. Fortnite, get out of here. There's no game. There's no mobile game that even comes close. Now we just need the game modes. Marvel Future Fight, please deliver on the game modes. There's still a lot more to be discovered in the APK. There's obviously hints or clues that we could be getting a Bucky uniform. There's maybe stuff on the homepage. Hopefully there's a reworked game mode or something in there. I'm really looking forward to the APK. I hope you are too. I just wanted to give you guys a little heads up on this. I wanted to have a little conversation about the awakening skills, get those creative juices flowing in your mind. I want to give a huge shout out to the devs for what they've done and what they continue to do with the artwork and the skills in this game. And now we just need the game modes to follow up, and it's going to be that ultimate 1-2 punch, best mobile game in the game 2020 on the globe, on planet Earth. Okay, 616 or whatever. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. Hit me up in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. I'll have APK videos for you ASAP, I promise. And I will see you in the next one. Take care.